The year 2099. The Earth destroyed. Humanity's last great hope lies on the dark side of the moon, huddled in an abandoned mining colony, sending signals back through time to chronicle mankind's greatest creations and save the planet once and for all. The game's still weird. The storyline more convoluted than ever. The boys still tugging.
You are now listening to Joystick Tuggers.
Hello? This is our, sorry, I'm leaning too. Hello, this is our second transmission to the past and to the future. Mm-hmm. And to those of you living on the moon still with the shortwave radio, you can also hear this live.
Live?
Are we broadcasting it live? I thought we were. I thought that's what the coat hangers were for.
Oh, no, I'll tell you about those later.
Look, I'm sorry, moonmates. You cannot be listening now, but soon, when the future becomes the present, or when the past becomes a thing we know about. I've lost the thread on this. There's still no Earth.
Still no Earth. Moonmates, by the way. This isn't just for moonmates. Moonmates, I mean, if you guys don't know, that's like, you guys have like Playboy in the past. We have Moonboy. Everyone knows about Moonboy.
Mm-hmm.
Moonboy. Yeah, it's like the women that have like the hollowed out meteorites on their bosoms. And
filled with moonfish.
Well, duh. And
it's kind of like a platform shoe meets breasts.
Exactly.
Type deal.
Do platform shoes typically have fish? Anyway, yeah, I just go to Moonmates. This is going out to everyone. Past, present, future, prehistory. So like Big Nose, hopefully he gets this in prehistory.
Mm-hmm. You can come down to our hole in the cave, in the moon cave, and we'll microwave you up a fresh copy.
Delicious. So, yeah, we're back again. You know, continuing our long, arduous journey.
Just a long, cold night on the dark side of the moon.
Trying to save the Earth, I guess. It's just what we do here nowadays. We don't have it to go on. I mean, it's pretty dire here on the moon.
I mean, from what we can tell, our process is working. It's good. We take a cassette tape. We wrap it in aluminum foil until it's a brick that fills a microwave.
Right.
We microwave it for the date we're sending it to. 20 minutes, 16 seconds. We know this is working. This is sound science. And yet...
microwaveologists around the globe.
Well, and yet
the moon globe, that is.
And yet the Earth remains destroyed. And the thing that I'm thinking is we could have two situations here. We could either have a divergent multiverse where our universe, we're never getting the Earth back.
In the movie series and book series Divergent?
No.
Okay.
Although
that's
in the multiverse theory, there would be a multiverse that is just Divergent.
Can't wait.
And they have a book called Earth, but just normal. And it's just normal Earth. Where you're like, what am I going to be? And it's like, you're going to go to school for business and you're going to become a guy who goes, leads a meaningless life and then kills himself when he gets drunk and drives his Corvette into a tree.
Mm-hmm. I read it. It was a new New York Best Times seller.
It's a great thing. No, but what I'm thinking is we might not get the Earth back. Either our listeners in the past, our viewers.
They're viewers.
Our viewers. They corrected the mistakes that we made, saved the Earth, and we just don't get it. That's just not how it works, not how time travel works. Or, more likely, they're just being lazy. They're just not doing it. They don't understand. They don't think it. They think this is an act. They think it's a joke. They think, oh, it's like a podcast. I downloaded this podcast. These guys are always being funny. This isn't funny. This is real.
This is real life.
It's real to me.
It's still real to me.
You know what is real to some people who are sometimes lunatics?
What's that?
Ghosts. Specters. Poltergeists. We don't have them on the moon. You know why? The moon does not have a revolving core.
It all makes sense now. I forgot about that. I mean, they figured that out in like 2019. Pretty close to where we're sending this.
All the ghosts died with the Earth. So, ghost lovers and ghost hunters out there, save the Earth.
Stop wasting your time on the moon. I mean, these guys on the moon, they're out there like...
No.
I mean...
Putting up flags, trying to see if ghosts will shake them.
Yep, ghosts constantly do that.
That's why they came. They're like looking for other footprints. Oh, where are the ghost prints? Where are like hoof prints in the moon? It's not going to happen.
That's how ghosts work, right? They have like, it's like a ghost. A ghost is like a sheet draped over a horse. Is that how ghosts work? I don't remember. I know nothing of ghosts. They don't exist after all.
I think
anymore.
it's generally like the kind of like the cartoonish, like the classic cultural image in America for a ghost was a sheet draped over a horse.
Okay. So yeah, speaking of horse draped ghosts.
Yeah, we're going to be talking...
Horse draped ghosts.
Oh,
yep. Okay. Speaking of which...
It's a horrifying image indeed. We have a few great games this week. The first game is Poltergeist themed. Yes. And the second is just kind of about a blob on a beach.
With a big nose, which we're huge fans of. Very, very sexually aroused by them. I'm scared. I don't like ghosts. I'm scared of ghosts.
You should be scared. This is a frightening game.
No.
Now, the game in question, the viewers at home might be thinking, what game are they going to talk about? Is it, I've heard of a scary called Resident Evil.
Whatever.
Is it that? I've heard of a scary called Amnesia.
Yeah.
The Dark Descent.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of a scary called Gone Home.
Oh, yeah.
These are all scaries they've heard of.
That was Dark Desert the whole time. I didn't get it.
It's Dark Desert. Homeworlds of Arrakis is the full name. It's the first... Mm-hmm. They made the prequel to it was Doom 2, and that was the first RTS.
Oh, okay. Doom.
So...
Frank Herbert's Doom.
There's a lot of scaries you're probably thinking of when you're thinking, ooh, they're spooked, they're scared, what are they worried about? But this one is probably not one you've heard of before, and that's why we decided we wanted to archive it, because it's one of the most stylish scaries around.
It's pretty stylish scary.
And it's a game that came out...
I would go as far to say it's not only a scary, it's a creepy.
It's a creepy, it's a funny, it's a scary, and it's a critically acclaimed video game from Electronic Arts called Haunting, starring Polterguy.
Yeah.
It was released in 1993 for the Sega Genesis.
Yep. Obviously the very first Sega console.
Master System.
What's that?
Oh, wait, no. I meant to say Mega Drive if you're a European. Wee wee. I'm holding my wee wee up.
Yep. If you're an American, when you're going to the bathroom, what are you in the bathroom? European.
Yank.
Let's continue this.
Wait. I thought it was supposed to be yank in your wee wee.
Uh-huh.
Is it not that?
I don't know what that is.
You said if you're an American in the bathroom in Europe, what do you call it? And I said yank American in your wee wee.
Uh-huh.
Okay, never mind.
Yep.
Is that the actual punchline?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this, but I've recently become a dad.
European.
That's where that joke came from. I got it when I was becoming a dad.
But European also works.
Yep. Let's continue this one. This is a good one.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I lost the thread here. So the Haunting is a very interesting game. It was one that you and I didn't really have any familiarity with, but one that once we kind of like, basically once we booted it up, the intro sequence is so titillating that we had to keep playing.
I was intrigued.
Pops up, you've got a green man floating, kind of a ghostual man.
Right.
Ghostobular man. And he is he looks like a very generic, like, 80s punk.
A rockabilly.
Yeah, like a rockabilly type. And what we found out from reading the manual for this game is that his name is Polterguy. We don't ever get his human name, his real name.
I'm assuming his name in real life was probably Polterguy as well. That was a really common name in the 1990s.
Or like Danny.
Yeah.
I could see...
Probably Danny, Polterguy. Polterguy's his middle name. And then last name's Tanner.
Yeah, Danny P. Tanner. P. Tanner. What do you call a man who makes leather when he's in the bathroom? P. Tanner. Yeah, that classic joke.
You're a dad too.
Not yet.
Oh, well, you gotta work on that.
No, you can't have babies on the moon. You know why?
Well, why is that?
No revolving core. Women are sterile here.
It all makes sense now. That's why there's no aliens.
But sperm does mutate into a creature of unspeakable horror.
I was wondering what that was in my bathroom.
You gotta get that checked out. So in The Haunting, it's like this isometric view of this very rebellious poltergeist character, and you're trying to basically scare a family out of their house. It's kind of an early version of some other games. The thing we got from reading the manual, though, was that Polterguy used to be a teenager who was killed in the most early 90s
the most
children death accidents.
Yeah,
a defective skateboard accident caused by the company which is owned by the people that he's haunting.
The Sardinis.
The Sardinis. Now, some would say this is culturally insensitive. I would say 90% to 100% of people would say that the portrayal of the Sardinis in this game is extremely offensive to Italians.
Oh, I thought you meant like to the culture of like sardines. Okay.
Well, the sardine...
I was not following
The
you
Sardines
there.
would probably also be upset, as would maybe... I think Poltergeist would like their portrayal here.
This is what we call intersectional ableism, okay? Because it's like it offends both Italians and sardines.
So it's allowed?
That's fine.
At the time, you're saying it was okay then. Like if it had been the Sardonos,
right,
offensive.
Right.
If it had just been the Sardines, offensive.
Right.
Sardini. Now we got a little Italian, we got a little fish.
You mix them up and you got a steak. Yep.
Okay. The main guy's name is Vito Sardini.
Now that is offensive.
He's wearing a pinstripe suit. He has a cigar in his mouth.
No, that is offensive.
His wife is Flo Sardini.
Nah, not quite as offensive.
No. The daughter is Mimi Sardini, which is a very fun to say name.
Mimi?
Mimi, I'm a Sardini.
Oh, I know what Mimis are those things that people used to share back in the mid, 2000 teens, like where they like would take a picture and put white, writing on top
text
of it.
on it. Yeah, I think this is
Mimis.
I don't think this is referring to that, though, because I think this is a pre-Mimi.
Is this the first Mimi?
I think it's spelt differently.
No, M-I? No, it's the same.
Okay. Then it could be. It could very well be the first Mimi. Although I do remember there being the Drac Corey show, I believe was what it was called, was a sitcom that had a Mimi on it. Now, that could have been Mimi Sardini reprising her role.
Oh, you're talking about Drake and Josh.
Yes.
Okay.
It's hard for me to follow with some of those. There were so many shows. They're so similar. It's hard for me to remember.
Rock on Cleveland.
Yeah, I think that was Drake and Josh.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about the haunting is it's really like
it's bizarre. It's like an isometric. It's bizarre.
It's very bizarre. You're going around the house, and effectively all you're really doing is you just float around. You don't have like life or anything. You kind of do. Like over time, if you don't scare enough, you can go to the underworld. It's kind of like this anti-death sequence.
So
but
the way it works is essentially. So essentially, what you're doing is.
Oh my gosh.
Essentially.
Just say what you're actually doing.
So essentially what you're doing is you're scaring people, and you scare the ecto out of them, which I'm assuming is Ecto Cooler, the drink that everyone survived off of in the 90s as well. It was lifeblood.
Or it could be things like smegma, blood, anal seepage, semen.
Oh, I'm glad to see that you were watching those CSI Special Victims Units Blu-rays that I got you.
Yeah, it's been really eye-opening in terms of bodily fluids and the places on a woman they can end up.
Right. I mean, it's.
I have some other DVDs that also show a lot of things in that category.
Right, they were purchased for $9.99.
But it's some sort of just green, glowing kind of viscous ooze that just seeps out of these people when they're frightened.
Right. Yeah. So you scare them and you take it, and it essentially
Stop.
goes in.
It doesn't work if you think I say essentially a lot, and then you just every time you say it 3 times.
Well, essentially, what you're doing is taking this ooze and you're using it to scare them. The ooze that you have goes into a ooze receptacle.
It's called an ecto tank, according to the instruction manual.
Ooze receptacle, ecto tank.
It's kind of just like a meter.
Right, exactly. And you interact with different objects in the room. For example, you go to a bookcase and you inhabit the bookcase. They walk over to the bookcase, the bookcase, which is enclosed in glass. So I guess it's more like a knick-knack shelf.
Or like a china cabinet.
Right. Yeah, something along those lines. And it fills up with blood, and there's a corpse floating at the bottom of it. Or you inhabit the floor, and it just turns into a pit of lava. You're not trying to kill them, you're trying to scare the pants off of them.
Yeah, some of them are like a little stranger, like more comical. Some of them are just like a floating chair, or like, a rug turns into a tongue, or the cushions of a seat look like they're turning into a large butt or a pair of breasts, but then at the end turn into a brain.
Which, I mean, it's the same thing. You know, us guys, we think with our butts. The old adage goes.
Yes, we think, the true man brain.
The third head, they call it. Mm-hmm. The third and fourth head.
The third and fourth head, the dual-lobed head. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, at times, kind of like crazy and hardcore for the time period it was made. And then at other times, it's just kind of like silly. I mean, the whole thing it feels very much like, I think you said this when we were playing it, feels a lot like Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
It's the same kind of, I don't know what they're trying to go for, like 80s horror. Like, it's like cool,
that like kind of like funny,
kids.
Lighthearted horror, though. Like Ernest Goes to Halloween.
Yeah, Ernest Goes to Halloween Town, the Disney Channel original series.
Yeah.
And then there's also Halloween Town, Scared Stupid. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's supposed to be like a horror comedy kind of shtick.
Yeah, and I mean the whole time you're playing as like a rockabilly ghost that's like sliding his way around the house and can't be seen, but
slinking. I think the term is slinking.
Yes, it has really good music.
Really quiet music, but really good music.
Yeah, though, like I mean, I think both games we played today had some very good music, but
we should talk about what happens when you die, because we were getting to that.
Yes, yeah, I mentioned it. So upon death, essentially, when you haven't scared fast enough and you lose all of your ecto from your ecto tank, you then would think, like in a typical game, right, you'd say, I die. But then in a lot of games like this, you would also say, well, how can I die? I'm already dead. I'm already a poltergeist. Do poltergeists, do they die again? Where do they go? Do they have a Jesus? Is there like a poltergeist Jesus? And if they believe in him, then they get to go back to real life? Like, how does this work? What's the systems involved?
It's easy. I figured this out. Just now, they go to the core. I mean, they also go to like the root of the problem, but they also go to the core.
That's where the underworld is.
I mean, that's why it's.
And that's why the moon doesn't have it. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Why there are no ghosts in the moon.
What if the moon was just the Earth's other underworld?
The overworld?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm thinking armpit, underpit.
I mean, whatever it is, it's not good. We need the Earth back. Please save the Earth.
Please send us pieces of
this
the
is
Earth.
to save the Earth.
We please take part of the Earth, like put it in a box and then put it in the microwave, like we explained in the last episode. Just make sure you go back and check that episode out. I'm not going to explain it again; it's really difficult. But you put like pieces of dirt in there, and then also put like what did they call it back then? They called it Surge, the drink Surge.
Yeah.
Okay. Pour it in there.
It looks visually similar to Ecto.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't know. We're going to find something to do with it.
A good potential plan for rebuilding the Earth, though. I like where your mind is at. See, that's the kind of thing that these people...
Yeah, they take we get everyone to dig up the Earth. Back then, every person on Earth, dig up your fair share of the Earth, send it to us in the future. Yeah, we pour Surge on it. That's what the Earth's made of. The molten core, I'm assuming, is Surge, so...
I mean, honestly, that's a better idea than apparently anyone in the past has had already. So... I say do it. Now, this is the question, though. Mm-hmm. Do we know that isn't how the Earth was already destroyed? What I'm going to say is that going to be the end of the story arc here? Are we going to, yay, thanks, you guys. You sent us your dirt. You sent us your boxes of dirt. Yay, boxes of dirt. Oh, no. Now I remember... The Earth got all dug up and is gone. And now... We should save the Earth.
Yeah, and also, guess what? People send us all the Earth, and we just start packing it on the moon, because where else are we going to put it? And the moon becomes the Earth's molten core. Oh my gosh, this goes so deep.
This seems like... Don't dig up the Earth. Let's back out of this, I think.
Yeah, it makes sense, because also the laziest...
I'll take some novelty topsoil, or like kind of like ooh, look, it's soil from Normandy.
We like Miracle Grow. We eat it here. I mean, it goes good with cheese.
Yes, it's the food. It's the food of the moon. Everyone knows this.
Think about this, though. Think about how the people in Detroit are super lazy. Everyone knows this. Everyone in Detroit is just the laziest. They probably just didn't dig up any of the Earth. That's probably why Detroit's still there. Yeah, that makes sense now.
Oh, so you're saying everyone like kind of dug around Detroit, said, leave that. Everything else we're sending to them.
Right.
See, I think we're treading into kind of like Matrix architect territory with this, like where you go in the room and he's like, oh, again, you did it again. Like, I'm just going to say one person dig up a little bit of sand in Normandy, send it to me, big World War III buff, and then you and no one else dig up anything.
It's crazy how Normandy was so peaceful before and it was never like involved in any other world wars. And like 3, it's just like...
Stuff just popped off.
Storm the beach of Normandy, World War III, 2066.
I know.
Never forget. Call that N-Day, Norman Day.
Yeah, Normandy Day.
No, Norman Day.
It was on June 17th. We call it N17, the Normandy.
Oh.
That's what we refer to it as.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, we've gone way off the rails here. The Haunting is a cool game. Well, not The Haunting. Haunting, starring Polterguy.
Yeah, not to be confused with The Haunting, starring Owen Wilson.
So the coolest part, and this is really the last thing I would probably want to dig into, especially deep on this, is the best thing is the kind of broader fiction of Haunting. And this is really where I feel like it hits its true artistic strength.
This is going to the fan fiction thing that we were talking about last time.
No.
Is this canonical fiction?
This is the actual fiction. This is not like the big nose kind of dirtier side of things. This is the real fiction, which is you scare the Sardinis out of one house, you go to an entirely new house, and you scare them out of that, and you go to a third house and a fourth house, which is actually like a lot of content for a game. Like that seems like that would take several hours to beat for a game of this time. But
yeah, and I mean, I'm assuming that what ends up happening with it, because, I mean, everything, it seems that, at least what we could gather from it, was everything's kind of based on chain reactions. Like, you try to, like, scare them to this thing, and then this thing, and then this thing, and it leads them out of the house. I'm assuming if you get really good at that, you can probably just clear the house in, like, a few minutes.
That's true, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it is definitely a lot. I mean, it could just be one house and still be, like, a complete game.
But, after scaring them out of all 4 houses, their Chihuahua, which the dogs are kind of set up to act as like an anti-ghost thing. Like you lose Ecto if the dog barks at you in the house, I guess. The Chihuahua,
because dogs hate horses.
Yes, and sheets. Most of the time they chew them up or they pee on them because they know that those are garbs worn by spectral horses. So in the game, the family's Chihuahua turns into like an ecto beast, and that's kind of like the final boss. And you fight it, kill it, it blows up, turns into a bunch of brains, just floating brains.
Oh, I thought you meant like a huge brain explode. You mean like a lot of little brains?
Turns into a bunch of floating brains.
Okay.
Which you then kill, and it's sort of like the final boss. And then Polterguy, because he has finally gotten his revenge on the family that was responsible for his death, which, it's worth noting, he did terrorize the wife and 2 children, which, as far as we know, had nothing to do with the business decision that led to his death. He is granted...
That's true.
He is granted new life.
He's the real villain.
He is granted a return to his human form, and you get to see him back as, beautiful... it's whatever we call Polterguy when he's a human. Probably
Danny
not Polterguy.
P. Tanner.
Danny P. Tanner. He's back, and he's beautiful. And then, I mean, really, the thing that's also interesting, what happens next...
You wouldn't believe. Click here.
No, you don't have to click here.
Oh,
I'm just going to tell you. What happens next?
Oh, okay.
Anvil falls from the sky, lands on his head, kills him. Turns back into Polterguy. Slow pan into the anvil. What does it say on it? Sardini Company.
That's pretty good. It would have been better if it said, should have ducked. But that's pretty good, too. That's what I thought you were going to say.
Should have ducked. No. It says Sardini Company, and then you find out, were the Sardinis messing with him the whole time? Was this anvil pre-planned?
Does he kill them? I don't know why we didn't make it this far.
No, he doesn't kill them. He just scares them more, and then it's like, good job, you scared them enough.
He just took like 17 years off their lives.
I think that the Sardinis may actually plan the whole thing, and that he maybe, while he thinks, I'm great, I'm a ghost, I get to torture them. I think he's the one truly being tortured.
I just made the connection that Puggsy is not the same as Pugsley. It just made the connection.
No, you kept thinking that.
I don't... Why?
I'm like, no, Puggsy. Bring me the news, I got a...
Bad case of loving you.
Puggsy. So our second game we're going to be talking about today is also a Sega Genesis. Sega Mega Drive game.
Right.
In this case,
first Sega console.
In this case,
Genesis.
also a Sega CD game, also an Amiga game.
What's a CD?
It's a Compactos Discos.
Oh, a discus.
It's a Spanish textbook thing. Like sometimes they would come with these, like a Frisbee thing. I think you would throw it and it would play sound. Like air would pass through it and it would play sound.
Can you fart on it with that?
I don't know how you used it for games, but the good thing is the like cartridge works too, like kind of like the USB stick thing. So Puggsy was a game that we, unlike The Haunting, right? Just from the name, we knew kind of what we were getting into. You're like, okay, it's probably scary. This is probably a spook. It's probably a goof game. But
it's a screamer.
Yeah, a screamer.
A wailer.
But Puggsy, you just see Puggsy. I don't know. What could that be? There are a lot of weird game names. Puggsy could be like a dog, maybe like a dog, like a pug. Could be, you thought it was Pugsley from the Addams Family.
I literally got it 2 seconds ago.
So that's something that you thought. Probably the only one who made that mistake, though.
It cost me
You
dearly.
could be like, I don't know, it's just like the name of a character. I don't know, is it a puzzle game? Maybe it's a space shooter, because no one ever knows what those were going to be named. There was one called Hot Dog Arena or whatever. What's that one?
No, that's it. Hot Dog Arena.
Yeah, there was one called like something Hot Dog. Something. It was actually called something Hot Dog.
And in Japan, it was something hot dog. Ooh.
But Puggsy, we didn't really know what it was going to be. So we loaded it up. One of the first things we see, beautiful pixel art moon. And we're like, okay, that's our home.
That's
that's
where we is.
Like that's us.
That's our hood.
We're in Puggsy to some extent. And that really spoke to us on a very strong kind of level, because we're like, right out of the gate, they know about, they know what we like.
We're the target audience for that game.
Exactly. Sure. Then we see a spaceship, and we're like, ooh.
We just call those cars here, but spaceships, yeah.
We're like, is Puggsy going to be in that spaceship? Because that spaceship could be coming to the moon. This could be this could all be about us.
I thought it was coming to save us at first. I got really excited. I looked out the window. I ran to the window and I was like, it's oh, never mind. That's just an asteroid. And then it destroyed the next town over.
You were like, yeah, you ran over there and you go, Papa, it's the Puggsy Day. And then I looked out there and I said, no, son, that's just death from the sky again. And then we watched as your mother was immolated to death in the explosion.
Shout outs to my moms.
She's dead.
She's probably hanging out. She's probably hanging out with
Polterguy. Oh my gosh. If you get scared out of one house, you know what's coming. Get that anvil set up, because she might be coming to get you.
I'm going to throw it out on my window like the trash. I'll throw the trash out the window, and it's anvil going to be in the trash. I don't know, like a Christmas Carol. I thought this whole goof was a Christmas Carol. So
nope.
Okay, well, yeah.
You judged that incorrectly. Just like Puggsy and Pugsley. But what we ended up finding out is that Puggsy is just kind of a generic 90s blob. And by that I mean he is actually just kind of a blob.
He's like a Easter Island head.
Easter Island head.
Mixed with two... Not an antenna, not two antenna on top like you would think sticking straight up. Two antenna that kind of stick out. He's like a little pointed top of his head.
They're like flaccid, like they're kind of like
like hang lows as we call. That's what people called penises back in the day. Like dangling my hang low. That's what those look like. So
like they're showers, I would say, not growers.
I mean, yeah, it's.
We didn't see at least.
I was embarrassed for him, but
they're showers.
Maybe
definitely.
It's cold on that planet.
Showing hang lows for sure. But the biggest thing we noticed too is he comes out, he's like, oh, I'm going to get out of my spaceship. He's kind of like on a beach. He bypasses the moon. He lands on something the instruction manual calls the planet. Basically, it looks like Earth, except there aren't humans. They're just like raccoons and stuff.
Very similar to nowadays Earth, but yeah.
Biggest thing is he gets out of the ship, and I see him, and I go, oh, is that a Easter Island head? Mm-hmm. No? Ooh, it's a creature. What's in the middle of that creature's face? Exceptionally big nose. I would in fact say bigger nose than Big Nose himself, star of our last episode.
And that's his damn name. His name is Big Nose, and this guy is like, I don't even need to name myself that.
He's like, what's your name? Puggsy. Doesn't have anything to do with his nose. Doesn't have anything to do with anything. It's just nonsense. And you know why it's nonsense? Because he's confident in himself.
That's right.
Unlike Big Nose. Big Nose just tried to co-opt the name of his bullies. They were like, Big Nose, Big Nose. And he was like, that'll be my name now. It's just...
He's like, it's my cross to bear.
It's hard to have respect for someone like that. But Puggsy, I was immediately taken back with.
So just make sure we're throwing Big Nose under the bus at this point. He's just a piece of garbage compared to Puggsy.
Of course he's a piece of garbage compared to Puggsy. Puggsy
strike him from the archive!
We'll have to send a microwave message back to cancel the other one. It's the whole thing. But yes, I agree. Strike him from the archive. He should be ashamed of himself. Now, this is a theory I had. Just a fan theory.
Fiction, you would say.
Nothing to be taken too seriously, but he lands on a planet very like Earth. It has a moon. It has a gray moon that looks just like the moon we live on now.
Right.
Albeit the light side of it is what we see, not the dark side. Who knows?
Right.
But he lands on a very Earth-like planet. No humans, but there are animals. which makes me ask, there are mammals as well, specifically, which makes me think, is this post-dinosaur, pre-human Earth? Which means, is this prehistory? Is Puggsy the original Big Nose? Is Big Nose just trying to live up to Puggsy?
I mean...
Like maybe Pugsy's like a cave painting, and he's like, I want to be that. I want to be like Puggsy, my god. And he smashes himself in the face until his just normal human nose swells up. He just puts bees in his nose.
He hangs weights from it.
Hangs weights from his nose. He's like, I want to... Yeah, he's like the people who stretch their necks. He's like, I'm trying to be like my god.
He went to the plastic surgeon. He went to the plastic surgeon, as they called it back then, I'm sure. And he said, "Surgeon, give me this nose." And he just holds up a cave painting. I'm assuming he had to have some kind of like apparatus to carry this huge cave painting with him. He's like, "I want to look this beautiful."
Yeah, and he was like, "Don't worry, symmetry's not important."
Right.
Comes out, both nostrils on one side. On the other, a third nostril. Unique touch. It's something that Puggsy would have loved. So,
yep.
All this is really just one way of saying that Puggsy has a very interesting physics-based item system.
Yeah, I mean, that's where obviously that's where it's going.
As we kind of dug into it, we're like, oh, you're picking up items. You're like throwing this little thing. And everything is bouncing in a very like non-Genesis-y way. And when you picked things up, and then like I picked up a barrel and I jumped and the barrel caught on the ledge, but I didn't. And then I could like lift my arm, I like pulled up on the barrel and I could like lift myself over the ledge.
You did some like John McClane Die Hard level, like pulling yourself up.
Yeah, it was very extremely masculine, extremely sexual, Puggsy in action. But the cool thing about it was that it's like, oh, this is all like it's a 2D game, but it's all like physics based, and it felt very like you were even saying as we were playing that it's like, oh, the animations are super like fluid and everything just feels really impressive.
It looks really good. It was made by Traveler's Tales. That's how they say it. It's with an S at the end. Traveler's Tales.
Yes.
The same people that made the Lego games.
Yep, and continue to make the Lego games.
Until all the way until 2099, they still made it. I mean, I think they just released Lego Batman 94.
Yes,
95.
Yes, where they're just remaking it's a remake. It's a ultra high definition remake of
the 76th remake
of the games released in 1995. The Lego games.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they're still making them to this very day.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Lego Island. That's the new Batman. It's the Lego Island.
What's interesting is that actually the founder of that company was the one who programmed this, Puggsy. And I was thinking, like, really? A Lego guy crafted such like a intriguing and beautiful specimen in Puggsy? No. Puggsy was a character created in a demo for the Amiga, an old computer, called Pugs in Space. Pugs in Space was created by a demo group, which were...
Is that such a thing?
Yes, which were just people in like the 80s, basically mid-80s, probably to like as early as late 70s, that made demos that ran on Amigas and other home computers. So you'd like put in a disc and it would just play like an impressive graphical demo.
Oh, it would play a vid, not even a vid game, just a vid.
It would not. It was not a game. It wasn't interactive. It would just play a vid. No vid game. But the thing that's crazy about that is then these demo creator guys were like, maybe we can make a game with this Puggsy. He's breathtaking. But then...
Quite literally, he has a huge schnoz. It's very easy for him. He can just walk and take breaths.
Very easy for him to take breaths.
Yeah.
But Traveler's Tales and... what was the name of their publisher? It's like something crazy.
It's like... I almost said Psychotropics. I don't think that's it.
It's like that, though. Psygnosis.
Oh, yeah.
The publisher, Psygnosis, actually bought the rights to the character from the demo company.
Do you know why Psygnosis bought that? Because
Why not?
Puggsy himself has a sick gnosis.
Oh. That could be. Probably not, but could be.
Probably not.
But it definitely could be. So it's kind of interesting that it just got picked up. It was like this... It'd be like if you watched a compilation of short films, you saw like a dog in it you liked, and you're like, we gotta buy that dog and make a video game.
Hey, that's a pretty cool dog.
God, make a video game out of that dog.
Make $1 million off that dog.
Hey, let me see that dog's schnoz.
All right, yeah.
Hey, let me see that dog smell another dog's butthole.
Yep.
Hey, I like the look of that. You take a video of that and send that to my private home.
A video? You mean a vid? Oh, a vid.
Hey, can you show me that vid of that butthole?
Right.
Yeah, that kind of a situation.
Right, that's an extreme vid. That's what they called this back
Yeah, so I just thought that was pretty cool. The gameplay is just tripped out weird nonsense. It's
like a
huge
puzzle
raccoons, it's
platformer.
dancing pumpkins, it's...
Were those pumpkins, were they like, I don't know, they were green. I thought they were tomatoes.
Green screaming pumpkins. Oh, like an attack of the friendly tomatoes.
Right, exactly.
Situation.
A hug attack of the friendly
Yes.
tomatoes. They weren't friendly, though, because they kill you. So, but yes, exactly. They did it in a loving way.
Yeah, but it's just such a bizarre, interesting game. I would say the better music. It has the better music over the Haunting. Mostly just because Haunting's music is quiet.
It's really funky.
This music was jamming.
Yeah.
I believe you said it was similar to another mid-90s Sega Genesis game. You said it reminded you of Green Dog, the Beach Surfer Dude.
Right.
Of which your great-great-grandfather was the world record holder for some time.
Still is. Twin Galaxies, actually, the people that, do those, they came from the future. Were like, because this galaxy, I mean, it's on its last leg. It's about gone. But it's going to merge into another galaxy.
Well, everybody knows Andromeda is coming in
right.
to collide. So at that time, there would be like twin galaxies.
Yeah, and obviously what comes to that? Video Game High Score website. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, so then they came back in time with that databasing technology, and they like put on those little referee things. They were like a sad guy who played a guitar in the cold.
Right. Hung out with Billy Mitchell a lot.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. Every man's dream.
If I could go back, that's what I'd do.
Yeah.
God, the things I would do to go back.
Back where? You were never even on Earth in the first place.
Just not here. It's cold on the moon. Anyway, Pugsy's a cool game.
Yeah, I mean, he has sunglasses at one point. Which
oh my gosh, how did we even forget? Yeah,
How could I ever forget?
You pick up a square that has like the silhouette of sunglasses on it. You press like the B button or something. Suddenly he has sunglasses on. He just spawns them.
We forgot a couple things. I mean, he has sunglasses on, and also when you're holding something, you by pushing the up and down button can control the height of his arms.
Yeah, like where you hold it. That's how I was able to pull up with the barrel.
Right. It's just bizarre. Like, it has arm controls in this game.
It's a very unique game. It has some of the shortest levels we've ever encountered in any video game ever.
First level is
like pick up a barrel, step over 2 ledges.
Not even.
Over.
No, you play... That's true. That's technically the first level, but there's an intro level.
Yeah.
That is, you start the game, you walk to the right, you jump over like a little block pyramid thing. It's essentially 3 jumps. And then you just are done with the level. It goes to a door.
The levels are extremely short, but it's pretty fun. From everything we've kind of read about it, it has like 70 levels, a ton of hidden levels, alternate endings. It has a bunch of bosses, a bunch of secret things. It has like endings that you can only stop by restarting the game, or endings that just restart the game. But it was all done intentionally, not otherwise. So it's very...
Right. We also need to mention that when we were doing our research in the Grand Archive, that you guys don't have access to yet, but we have access to this, where we're pulling these games from. The Grand Archive stated that when you have a pirated copy of the game, you eventually get to a point where, through means of SRAM and other things that you plebs, I mean, you guys shouldn't understand.
Yeah, I mean, you low-life scum. You wouldn't know.
You guys wouldn't get this. But something to do with the SRAM. I have a confession. I don't get it either. But so
basically, it would check to see if you were running a fake copy of the game, and if you were, it would tell you, a pop up little thing on screen and be, "Hey man, go and buy a cartridge. Stop playing the silly game."
Right.
And as we were playing through it, we were like, wait. You mean the green tomato bouncing game? That's not the silly game?
That's dead serious, man.
It's like, come on. This game's kind of silly, but I like that they did that. I like that they stick it to the pirates. We have issues with pirates here on the moon.
But a completely different kind of pirates.
Yeah, these are more like, they're water pirates, but they get water by, like, squeeze, they, like, crush your hand and juice it, and then make water. It's a horrifying thing. It's honestly, like, a human rights violation. It's horrific crime. I mean, it's the kind of thing that makes, that makes an entire society capable of murder on a grand scale. But you live and you learn. Breaking news. The show's over. This is our second art archive straight from the Moonbase.
Hashtag the Moonbase on Twitter.
Hashtag Moonbase on the Moon Twit. Mm-hmm. Go on the Moonbook. So we were talking about this some last week. We said we don't really know how we were going to get stuff started. Turns out all we had to do was we just had to take a self-addressed stamped envelope, wrap it in aluminum foil, microwave it to Moonbook, microwave it to TwitMoon, and they just reactivated our accounts, the accounts of our grandfathers.
Right.
So, so now you can pretty much find us anywhere you would be looking for your, kind of your standard retro video game archival podcasts, sent from the future to the past by people living on the moon. Right. If you could find, when you're like looking for that kind of thing, you should be able to find us just about anywhere you'd look.
We also have an ergonomic mail. That's what E stands for in email, right?
Yes.
Ergonomic because it's easy on your back.
We would really like to hear from you. We'd really like to get moon mail, whether that be with game suggestions, things you think are befitting of the archive and why you think they should be in there.
Right.
Whether that's just general questions about the moon.
Right.
Whether that's, hey, I heard that you guys have moon cats. They're rocks that vibrate. Why do you call them moon cats? Are they related? Those are the kind of questions that we want because we feel like you guys need to understand the conditions we're living in here on the moon because it's something you don't want. Some people think, cool, the Earth's going to blow up. I get to live on the moon. Then my dad won't tell me what to do. That's not healthy thinking.
That's right. Stick it to the man.
Save the Earth.
But stick it elsewhere. That's what I'm saying.
Stick the man on the moon. Put yourself on the Earth, which you saved by listening to this podcast.
Right. And also, to you guys out there who think that having, like, the moon cats that are just, they're vibrating rocks that occasionally, like, levitate, like, an inch or two off the ground. It sounds great, but it's not because you put anything on a shelf, it just knocks it right off, man. And, like, you have to, like, put, like, little tiny, like, meteorites in a box, and it just, like, poops in it. And the poop is, it's not bad, I guess. It smells kind of bad.
It smells bad, but then the problem is that it's also just tiny, vibrating, levitating rocks.
Right, but they do taste delicious.
Pretty soon, everything's floating, everything's vibrating, and it's like, hey, I gotta save that stuff for after dark,
Right, exactly. We can answer anything that you guys want. Mooncats, if you guys want, we could send you one, but you don't want it. And also, there's no food back in 2016 that can feed them.
Yeah, not for them. They subsist off of like a special blend of moon alien bodily fluids and Miracle-Gro.
Right.
Another big thing, we're going to be microwaving our episodes on Fridays. Fridays is the microwave day. So check your microwave as soon as you get up in the morning. Go, oh, nothing there yet. Well, that's probably because it's coming till later because we're lazy.
Right.
Okay, we don't have any motivation. Our Earth was destroyed. Our world is gone. We all suffer from depression. We live entirely in darkness. Mm-hmm. I've never seen Jared's face. I think that we're both probably like pale, like we're probably like, kind of like the see-through fish.
Oh yeah,
the people,
the bottom of the ocean.
We're probably like that. I don't know, and frankly, I don't really think I want to find out.
I spoiler alert. We were talking about like Puggsy with his head penises.
Yeah,
I have the same thing.
Ooh,
but I'm a shower.
Oh, okay. You're not a grower?
No. Well,
they actually don't grow at all. They grow in. They go in.
I have Viagra for that.
Moon Viagra. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the big details. You can head to our hypertext link. Our moon link is joysticktuggers.com.
Don't forget the http
www.joysticktuggers.com.ca.biz, I think.
And you gotta put a / at the end of it, otherwise it does not work.
It does not work. It does not count. We don't get the traffic back in time.
Right. We get reimbursed for that.
You have to put the / because you want to go forward in time.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works.
Yeah, so, don't put the / because that sends it to those other guys.
That sends it back to like what you were saying last week. Like 1974 gets it, and they're like, "What's a computer? What's a slash?" And it's like they think slash is like Guns N' Roses. Slash.
Right. Yeah. Well, they started in like 1972, so that makes sense.
Yeah. So
we don't want slash to get our mail because that guy's a jerk. He's still alive, and he's a jerk.
He looks like some sort of like circus supervillain, so I don't want to talk to him, frankly. So go ahead, send us your moon mail, please. Tell other people you know about the show. Try to save the Earth. If you're that guy who lives near Normandy, try to please send me the sand. I'd like to have it. No one else send any dirt. We're trying to avoid that whole time loop thing.
Right. Unless you have dirt on celebrities that we can sell to TMZ and then maybe make some money here. Moonbucks.
Yes. Yeah, because the celebrity entertainment circuit is huge on the moon.
You're like that breaking news from 2013.
They love that stuff. I mean, they can't get enough of it.
Vintage breaking news. It's a very novel concept here.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this archive. Stay tuned next week. We'll be microwaving another one your way. Just crack it open like a Pop-Tart. Lick out the insides, take the shell, and throw it away.
We hope this transmission meets you, person of the past, in times of peace and plenty. As always, remember, pickles make the best gifts. Goodbye.
Nuts in my mouth. Nuts in my mouth.
Dried roots that are poisonous.
I got nuts in my mouth. Put them in my butt. My butt fills up with hives.
Last one. I'm good.
Looking down and turn on my...
God. These cashews weighed more than I thought. God.
These cashews weighed more than I thought. God. These cashews weighed more than I thought. God. These cashews weighed more than I thought. God. These cashews weighed more than I thought.
God, these cashews weighed more than I thought.